I am Hannah James. I am 22 years old, and I've been with WRBL for 2 years now in my first market. News is important to me because it's the mode of communication between residents and their local government. Local news is important to make sure people are informed, they know what's going on, they're aware of their surroundings, and it helps them get plugged in as well. So news really holds the weight in keeping people connected. One of the highlights that I've had was the honor of covering a story with one of my coworkers. Actually, her brother was shot and killed years ago, and the murderer was actually convicted this year.
Wednesday's sentencing brought peace to the family after a hung jury in 2020 pushed back the closure they needed.
I was able to cover the sentencing hearing and get the final resolution for this family. One of my coworkers, she's 100 feet down the hall. And being able to tell his story and other stories where people don't have a voice anymore, being able to be their last voice is the highlight of my career. That's why I'm doing it.
We want to thank you all for trusting WRBL News this morning as your favorite source for weekend news.
So my name is Jack Patterson. I am 30 years old. I have been working in the industry for about, at this point, 10 years at WRBL News 3.
So is this the fun part, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's rare that you see something so important that is in the Constitution, the freedom of the press. And it is so very important what we do, to be able to hold the powerful accountable, for people to be informed of what's going on in their community, in the country, around the world. So news plays a very pivotal role in life itself, because without it, it's kind of scary to figure out what it would be and what people would do when there's no checks and balances that the news provides. There's days where the sports is news. It's the biggest news story of the day. So many times, especially when we're in the playoffs and there's stuff like that, and you have state championships or national championships. We've had state championships leading shows. We had Georgia's national championship against TCU. We were in every show. So, it's a big deal.
Good morning, everyone. With a look at your morning sports, I'm Jack Patterson alongside Tyler Redmond here at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, where it was a dominant performance by the Georgia Bulldogs.
As far as sports is concerned, number one, you got to have a passion for it. You have to have a passion for it. This isn't a business where I want to be on TV. This isn't for you.
Get on the move, baby!
For our sports team, we're a two-person team here in town, and we cover a lot of stuff. We cover a lot of college sports, a lot of high school sports, the occasional professional sports as well. And it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work, sacrifice to get where you want to go. I say this a lot. I have a get-to-do job, not a have-to-do job, but it's also a lot of work.
That's going to do it for your look at morning sports. As always, make today a great day. Back over to you.
Oh man, I got the best job in the world. I get to go explore places. I get to go tell people about cool things in their community, and sometimes bad things in their community. I get to tell them about stuff.
I've been a working journalist for 40 years, going back to August of 1983.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a long time.
WRBL's Chuck Williams is in the thick of it at the Trade Center. He joins us now live with more. Hey, Chuck.
I did reporting on gender integration of the U.S. Army Ranger School in 2015. That reporting for the Columbus Ledger-Enquirer we were the only reporter in the country. I was the only reporter in the country who got the first women to become U.S. Army Rangers to do interviews. They turned down a lot of different interviews. They did interviews with me. I covered it through the process. That work was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. Didn't win, but it was nominated. So I was a Pulitzer Prize nominated journalist.
Chuck, this was part of a much bigger picture taking shape in the Muskogee County legal system. Isn't that right?
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Well, I started on a typewriter and I'm now on a newspaper. I'm now working for a TV station doing on-air reporting. I didn't see any of that coming. That's a wide range of life, of work life. If you can learn to write, everything spins off that. That's been the irony of my shift over the last 4 years from print to broadcast. And that's one of the things that I've learned. And, just try to get it right, try to represent yourself the way your mama told you should represent yourself, and, and tell the truth, tell the best available version of it.
Good evening, and we thank you for trusting WRBL News 3. I'm Phil Scoggins. My co-anchor Teresa Whitaker is off tonight.
Phil Scoggins. I am 70, going on 71. I've worked in TV news for 25 years. I worked in sports for 6, so 31 in television. I worked 2 years in radio before I got into television. So in the industry, broadcasting, 33 years altogether. I think the drive behind what I'm doing today is I love to tell stories. We all have parts of our lives that we wish maybe people would ask about, but generally don't. So those are the kind of stories that appeal to me, to be able to cover stories fairly, bring both sides of an issue to the table, and let the viewers decide by how you tell the story and laying it out there without bias or compromise, making sure that you're presenting both sides. Like I said, it's an art, and if we're not careful, it's going to be a lost art. We have to really be careful that as the younger generation comes behind people like me, and we're able to mentor these young reporters coming through our newsroom, I strive to try to make sure that they understand the extreme importance that needs to be placed on doing your job well, being fair and balanced and unbiased, and not presenting opinions, but presenting facts, and then again, letting the viewers decide how they want to think about that story based on how well you were able to present the facts.
Switching gears now to our weather, and we're going to need some umbrellas as we head for the weekend.
I anchor the news, and that's what most people know me for doing. But they may not be aware that the most compelling part of this job is being able to tell stories and deliver news stories, go out and actually shoot, write, and edit news stories. Ask yourself this question if you're coming into television news. Do you love to write? Is that a passion in your soul that can only be fed by telling stories and writing stories and producing stories? That passion for words, the passion to be able to, it's people don't realize it, but a television newscast, just like a movie, begins with words.
My advice to young journalists now is do it, but learn to write, because if you want to pivot into another career, whether it be public relations or who knows what, if you can write and you can write well, you are employable.
Make connections, network, because it's not just about what you know, it's also about who you know as well. So networking is such a big deal.
My biggest advice for anyone coming into the industry is to advocate for yourself. Like I said, when I came in, I knew nothing about journalism. And I got myself out there. I went out with our chief of photography to learn my camera. I sat down with our producers to learn how to write a script. I worked with my digital staff to figure out the best way to keep numbers up. Just knowing what you want to learn and go after it is the best thing you can do for yourself, because you're going to accomplish what you want. As long as you are hard-headed like me and you get yourself in the door, your opportunities are endless.
You gotta love words. You know, if you find yourself as one of those types of people, I think you will do well and excel in broadcasting.